Yes, okay, so we'll start. Give me 2 minutes, we'll start. Okay, hello everyone, my name is Raja Mukherjee, and I will be conducting this online session for NPTEL course on programming in C++. So, I'm a research scholar at the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Kharagpur. So, for like every week, we will be solving some basic problems which will be asked in your assignments and class exams. So it will be interactive, so feel free to ask any question whenever you want. Okay, so let's start today's session. So let's do a quick recap for what was taught this week. So one of the things that was discussed, like introduced this week, was that oops oops concept, inheritance. So you are taught the basic fundamentals of how inheritance works, and different types of inheritance. So you are introduced to public, private, and protected, uh, like inheritance type. So as you have seen that like how public, private, and protected inheritance types differ. Like when you are accessing, like inheriting like with a public, using public, then you will be able to inherit all the public members, and you will be able to access all the public and protected members like that. So those kind of concepts we have been introduced to this week. Other than that, you have also uh, like come across the term function overloading and function overriding. So you also like had an okay, let me share my only Jamboard. Okay? Okay, here is the Jamboard, so you can access it. So also you have come across the thing called function overloading and function overriding. So function overloading, you have seen that uh, functions with different signatures, and function overriding, you have seen functions between base and derived class, the how one function overrides the other. So these are the few concepts you have been taught. So one of the features that you have been taught type of inheritance is basically single inheritance. So in the latter chapters, you will be introduced to more types of inheritance like multiple. So let's Let's start like the questions regarding this. So this is the first question. If you have any doubt, you can just ask. Like the mic is always open, so you can just ask me if you have any doubt regarding any concept. So this is the first question. The question is, consider the following code segment. So if you see, there is one class, my class 1. It has a static object, uh, static int 1 x1, a double object, a double variable x2 member like data member, yeah, and it has a member function fun and a member function fun. Next, we also have another another class m2 which publicly inherits m1, and it has only a member data member double d1. Next, we here we have to define the static variable. Just we have, as we have like looked in the previous classes, like static has to be defined outside of class. So here the definition is done. Then you see we have this is the main function. Inside the main function, we are creating an object of class my class 2. Then we have a cout function, and then we have a return. So in the cout, we are printing the size of object d. So the question is, what will be the output? Now what happens? So this my class, suppose obj1 is object of my class 1. So what it will contain? It will contain this instance of x2. Why not x1? X1 will not be present in the object because it is a static variable. So a static variable is actually present outside of any object because it is shared by all objects. So when we create obj2 of my class 2, you see it will contain this x2 and also d1, right? It will not contain, see, like just like obj1, it will not contain the static variable because it is a static variable, and it's like when we calculate the object size, we don't include it because it is shared by all the objects. It is not present inside any object. So object 2 will, like in this case d will have x2 and d1, both are of type double. So it will be size of a double is 8. So 8 plus 8, it will be 16. So the correct answer will be 16. Please, do you know where can I read more on the overloading of virtual functions? So virtual functions, I know it comes in week 6. So one thing you can do to learn more about virtual functions, you can pick up any textbook of like if you have any textbook of C++, like you can just pick it up. There will be lots of examples. You can find instances of how virtual functions works. Other than that, I will recommend like popular websites like Gigs for Gigs. You can find many resources there. Anyway, you have the NPTEL lectures. NPTEL lectures are quite good. So, any doubt regarding this? You can ask this question. So this introduces the the crux is that here that crux of this question is that uh, static variables are not part of any object, whether it is being inherited or not, and the concept is also clear. Like the basic is static variables are not inherited. This is the important thing to remember. The static variables are not inherited. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So, uh, so here you have uh, a code. It has a class, base class, a class called base. So you have base, and it has an data member int n1. It has two public member functions. One is the constructor, that is that is being used to initialize n1, and also you have a function void f1 cout plus n11. So it has also a data member function void f1. Now we are defining another class called derived. So we have another function called derived, another class called derived, which is publicly inheriting base. So now it has a constructor, and it is also defining uh, another member functions f1 int a, and it is printing this. Now we are creating an object of derived d10, and d10 is trying to call f1. So what will be the output slash error? That is the question. So what will be the output? In this case, what will be the output? Anyone? So like anyone can attempt, like you know the concept, like just make a guess anything if you are not able to understand that. Okay, so I thought anyone will answer. So one might think, so let's do it a wrong way, and let's see. So let's just have a conversation that whether this what I am saying is correct or not. So we have base. Base has a function f1. Now we are inheriting it, and now we have derived. Now in derived we have f1 int a, and we are also publicly inheriting base. So naturally this should be here. So when we are calling it, that means d is calling f1. So in that case, so when we are passing 10 here, 10 is being here, and 10 is being passed here, 10 here, 10 here, so it should print 11, right? It should print 11, right? So what I said is wrong. It will not print 11. Actually, this code will throw an error, and I will tell you why it will throw an error and where we are going wrong. You see, when this happens, like there is one definition of f1 and we are trying to, due to inheritance, we are trying to bring another f1. In this case, this makes f1 of base hidden. So whenever you are trying to inherit, when we are trying to inherit function of same name, so we are trying to inherit f1, and f1 we have now declared for derived. In that case, the base f1 will get hidden. So this is the concept. So as a result, when you are trying to call this one, this will throw an error saying it has no matching functions. That is the reason it will throw error, because whenever we do this, like we try to derive f1 here, the compiler says, okay, f1 is already there, so I will not inherit this one. Always the local gets the preference. So as a result, overriding happens. This is a very crucial thing. So as this is the reason we are not able to inherit this one, because by default it is not allowed. Now this is clear.
Yes, sir.
So now now I want to ask, I want to make sure that f1 is there. We have to make sure that this f1 signature gets inherited. By default it is not possible. Now we have to do this. How we will be able to do this? So C++ allows this by using this simple statement. So we will write a statement here in this public place, suppose here, which will allow us to do this. So we will be using this, using colon colon, using colon using base colon colon f1. So when we write this statement using base colon colon f1, what happens is that now we are telling derived that okay, you can now inherit f1.
Hello.
Hello. So when you are using this using base f1, at that time that derived it informs the derived that okay, now you can inherit f1. Without that it will not be inheriting f1.
Hello.
Hello.
Uh, Sir, I want to ask one question. Uh, when there is base class and there is drive class, and drive class is inheriting a base class publicly, then all the public members of a base class goes into public section of a drive class,
Yes.
and protected members of a base class goes into protected section of a drive class.
Yes.
And private members, where they go? Private members go or no, not go in private section of drive class.
It doesn't go. We cannot inherit private.
Private members are not. If a base class drive class
So
inherits base
okay,
class
so okay,
privately,
okay, okay, okay.
then
No, no,
private
no.
members gets inherited or not.
See, I have this base class and I have this derived class. I have uh, private member, suppose int a. So does, suppose we have an object b. So does this b able to access int a? Is this object be able to access int a?
No, no,
No. How to
because
access? How to?
private members
Yeah.
are not accessible outside the class.
Yes. Yes. That is the crux. That private members are not accessible outside the class. So
So drive class also
no.
not access.
No. So
Sir,
wait, 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 wait. Let me complete.
okay, okay.
So how to access this like how does object B access INTA? Obviously, we give
Through
him
member function.
we give him some public member function, right?
Yes.
Set a.
Public member functions, and that public member function accessing private
Yes.
members.
So in this case also, derived class will be able to access this. So through this, it can access that.
Okay. But not directly.
No, not directly. It cannot access.
Sir, if drive class is accessing base class privately, then in that case private members comes in private section of a drive
Obviously,
class or
so
not.
when you are a basic example, or you can try it out, like a basic simple code. So you give a class a, you write this code class a int a, okay, class b public a int b, and you write an int main and print like cout size of. So you create an object b size of b. So you perform this simple experiment and check what is the size of b. What is the size of b? Is it 4? Is it 4 plus 4 equals to 8, or is
Sir,
it 4?
the size of all data members combined.
Yes. So that is so the doubt you are having, this is the way you can check it. So if
Okay.
so if you if the so if the you will check the size of b comes out to 4 plus 4 8.
Sir, so private members, if drive class accessing base class privately, so public members, where they go? Public members comes in public section or not?
Public members comes in public section.
But in when drive class is accessing base class privately, then private section will only move of base class.
uh, Pardon.
Sir, if drive class is accessing base class privately,
Huh?
then my doubt is
Oh,
private
privately.
only. only
Pri-
private members of base class move to private
no, 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 no,
section of
no, no, no.
drive class
Please,
only. Private and public and protected
no,
members
no,
of
no,
base
no,
class
no,
remains
no,
as
no,
it
no,
is.
no, no. So, uh,
Sir, I have confusion in this. Public I know, but privately when drive class is accessing base class, then how it is acting behind the scenes. Yes, sir. This chart is very difficult, confusing to learn.
inheritance type. So I am. So suppose I am inheriting publicly.
Okay. Drive class is inheriting publicly base class.
Base class. The public members remains public.
Public members comes in public section.
Hmm. Private,
Private comes in private
private.
section.
Protected, in protected. Okay, clear?
Sir, private section comes in private section of a drive class.
Huh?
So
I
private members are also accessible through
No, it
object
is
of
not
drive class.
accessible. It is not accessible. You have to access through this.
Sir, my doubt is that if there are private members of a base class and base class is inherited publicly by drive class, then private members of base class comes in private section of drive class
It does not
or
come
not.
like that. In that you cannot access it. That is the crux of it. That you cannot access the private members.
Sir, I mean I cannot access that.
No,
But I understand I cannot access that. Sir, but
no, no,
I
no, no.
am
That is
asking
the thing. That
whether it whether it comes in private section of drive class or not.
you you go and check this. You this will just clear your
सर
doubt.
अगर अगर प्राइवेट सेक्शन बेस क्लास का ड्राइव क्लास के प्राइवेट सेक्शन में आ जाता है तो
It doesn't come
वो
like that. It is not that.
सर अगर अगर प्राइवेट सेक्शन में अगर आ जाता है तो वो मैं मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कि वो बस आ जाता है मगर उसको हम एक्सेस नहीं कर पाते, ऐसा
Yes,
कहना सही है?
yes,
बस वो आ जाता है,
yes,
उसको हम एक्सेस नहीं कर पाते हैं,
no,
उसको एक्सेस करने का तरीका है इनडायरेक्टली थ्रू मेंबर फंक्शंस.
yes.
ओके.
Okay.
ओके, आई अंडरस्टैंड.
And so when you are inheriting privately, all remains private. Private remains public becomes private. Private remains private, and
ओके.
protected becomes private. Now,
Everything comes in private section.
yes.
Okay, okay.
Now,
And
when, when
protected.
when you are doing protected, protected, private, protected.
Sir, it is in this I sir protected in case of protected, private becomes protected. Why not? Oh, sorry, private becomes private. Why not protected?
This
Yes, sir.
no. So
Like
that so see, this is a strength. Private greater than protected greater than public. This is the strength.
that's
So
why private remains not become protected.
private, why it will become protected? Because private is greater than protected, right?
Okay, okay.
Private strength is greater than protected.
In terms of accessibility.
Yes. So
Okay.
this is the thing. So
Sir,
gre-
can you share this chart in the chat section?
see these things are these slides are also available in the in that uh, that that
Okay, okay.
problem solving section that is there in the NPTEL site. You see that will open a Google form. So in that Google form, the video link is also there, and this uh, PDF also remains.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So please.
Sir, one question, sir.
What?
Sir, protected comes in picture when there is inheritance, right?
No, no, you can write protected, but for single class it doesn't have any meaning.
So, sir, it means that when there is two classes inheriting each other, then there is protected section, na?
No, no, no. You can write protected, but
Sir,
it is.
in single class can be right protected.
Yes, you can write.
So, sir, what is the use of that
There
protected?
is
Because
that is no
protected.
use in that case, but you
So,
can
sir,
write.
what is the point of writing here?
I mean,
If
like the programming language need to have flexibility, right? And as well as modularity. It is not that everything you become if everything becomes so complex, then how we will people will remember. So
yes,
if you have C++ is still has more features than C. So one of the reasons these things are there is because of security. Provides more secure like dimension of programming than normal C code. So that's why these things are there.
sir, one question apart from this topic going on,
Hmm.
can I ask?
Hmm.
Sir, is C++ is a completely pure object-oriented language or
No,
not? And sir, Java is complete pure
Java is
object-oriented.
completely pure object-oriented programming.
Sir, but I have seen many answers on web
So
that
so
Java is not
it
pure
no
object-oriented.
no 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 no. So uh, people will have opinions. Okay, people will have opinions. So pure object-oriented class programming means that everything will be done inside a class. Part of coding, every
Yes.
part of coding has to be done inside a class.
So, sir, in C++, it is, I understand in C++ is not a pure object-oriented, but
No, no,
in Java,
it is object oriented programming, but the only feature it is not that pure object oriented programming is only because that main i-
primitive types.
main is outside, in Java that main is inside the class, so that is the only thing you can see that
Sir,
main
but
difference.
some people say because of presence of primitive types like int, double, float, Java is not pure object-oriented language.
That people will have opinions, like let's
So,
not
sir,
get
what is the correct answer of
no,
this?
correct. So this will
Sir, it
so
is an
so
interview
I
question.
am
It
giving
is
you
a,
one question. Is one a prime number or not?
sir, one is a composite number.
Obviously, but you will see people will still argue one is a prime number.
So, sir, in interview, this question is being asked. So,
So
what is the correct answer? That's why,
you give your own version. People will accept it.
sir. But if interviewer has its own mindset,
Interviewer
then
will confuse you. Okay, so that will be there, but
okay,
you have to present your own view, right?
okay, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So
Hello.
uh,
Sir, one question, sir. When will we get admit card for the exam?
I don't know that administrative part. I don't know. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
If you have a base class pointer to a derived class, base pointer equals to new derived. Yeah, I'm coming to that. Okay, there will be problems regarding that also. Wait. You see, this problem is only that. So, so you have a base class, a class base, and it has a public member, data member, void print cout c. Again, you have a class derived, which is publicly inheriting base, and you have same print function cout c++. Now you are creating a new base pointer, and you are creating a new derived type variable, but you are storing it into a base pointer. So
Hello.
wait. So you are here, you are printing a1 print, here you are printing b1 print. So what will be the output in this case? So simple simple fundamental is a base class can contain derived class object, but not the vice versa. So uh, the reason behind this is a base class like a1 a1 contains base. Now derived class b1, it contains the items that are here, but it also contains its own item, right? So these to this upcasting is not possible, but downcasting is possible. So in this case, when we call a1 print or b1 print, it will always call this print. So the correct answer will be C. C. Now say,
Hello.
yeah.
Sir, I am asking the second object creation base pointer B1
Mm-hmm.
equal to new derived. Sir, what is this pointer is pointing to?
This
This
pointer,
pointer is
this.
pointing, sir, it means that dynamically object of derived class is created,
Mm-hmm.
and to that object pointer of B1 of type base is pointing. It
Mm-hmm.
means that.
Yes.
So, sir, I am confused in both of these terms.
Yeah. So
One, one, one.
so I will
At
give you.
one, sir, at one part there is a object of derived class, and
Yeah. So
at one
I
part
will
there is
give you
a.
I will give you a quick like analogy for this.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
So you have mammals
Sir, because I have read that pointer pointer variables can point to the
and
type of data they are
humans. Wait,
pointing
wait,
to.
wait, wait. You have mammals and you have humans.
Yes, sir.
Are all mammals humans? Like if I am a human, it says that it means I am a mammal. Okay,
Yes.
but are all mammals human?
No. Humans are mammals, but all mammals are not humans.
Yes. So this is the reason this is allowed. This conversion is allowed. But suppose if you write a derived d1 is equals to like asterisk d1 is equals to new base, this is not allowed because d1 has its own features. It may have something like int j that is not present in I. So
Sir, sir, one thing. Sir, in this case, drive class is superset because drive class is containing base class also. So
yes.
superset mammals, in case mammals are superset, humans are subset.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
So that I'm just saying that in that order. But okay. So I have to give a more practical example that will be better.
So
So
sir, drive class is superset. So why drive class
so
is not containing pointer of base class
okay. So
object of base?
let me give a better example.
Sir, this line always confuse me. Sir, I cannot able to understand this.
So you have a base and you have derived. Base has intj, public, suppose a print function. Now derived may say has int k and a public print function. So now see, when inheritance occurs, you see derived will not only will have a j, a k, and a print statement, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, print statement of itself and print statement of base class. It contains.
Yeah, you can say. So
Sir, both print statement
yeah,
have.
you say I'm saying let print one and print two. Let's not get into more confusion. Okay, print one and print two. Now I am saying a pointer of b uh, is trying to hold this.
Object of drive class.
Yeah. So this is possible because you see whatever what does b requires. B requires a j and a print one statement. Does derive have that?
Yes.
So that this is that's the reason this is yes allowed.
Uh, okay.
Now
Sir,
you if you
because of inheritance, drive class able to contain
yes,
base class contents.
yes,
That's why drive class pointer base class pointer point to drive class.
yes. Now you look at the opposite statement. So this has a object of base has
Okay.
j
Sir,
and a,
reverse is not true because drive class do not have base class of content.
so when suppose I write a hashtag d is equals to new base, does does this has all ingredients of this, like does it has k? No, this base has j and print 1. It doesn't has k and print 2, so it will not be able to hold.
Sir, this is drive class object, drive
Yeah,
class
so
pointer.
this I'm going derived class pointer asterisk d.
So drive okay, base class object cannot contain k. That's why. Okay, okay.
Okay, this is the crux that why this kind of one typecasting is allowed but the other typecasting is not allowed.
Sir, 1 minute. Sir,
Hmm.
please come to the slide. Sir, in this there is a base pointer which is pointing to drive class. Sir, I have read that pointer contain whenever pointer contains some data, then their type should be of that data type which they contain. Like pointer contains integer data type, so their
Yeah,
type should be int.
but see in this typecasting in this kind of uh, derived
Sir,
data type.
internally there is type compatibility
Yeah, in this
occurs.
case there is internal type compatibility because of this inheritance concept.
Sir, like when we are assigning drive class object to a base class pointer, so base class drive class object is internally converted to base class type
Yes,
and assigned to base
yes,
class pointer.
yes.
This is happening. Okay.
Okay, so you see that is the reason when this happens it is using its own print. It is not using this print. It is because only one print goes there and this print goes there. So it will be the output will be c and c, both cases.
Sir, 1 minute. Sir, in drive class, uh, print it contains print of itself and print of base class. So, sir, when we are accessing print function through B1, so which print function is accessing? The one
B only has
which
this. B only has this. B doesn't have anything else.
sir, it is because of overriding. It is
Yeah,
happening
like
because of overriding,
yeah,
function
kind of.
overriding.
Which one for B?
Yes, sir. For B1, sir, in drive class, both print functions are available.
Yeah,
Print
but
function
but
of base class and print function
but
of itself.
it may be available, but for a base class pointer only this is available.
Sir, but base class pointer B1 is containing address of object
I,
address
I
of
what I
object
told
drive class.
what I told It cannot have both, it can have only one, so it will always call this. If it doesn't have this, how can it be called?
Sir, it will be. Sir, I am asking. It will have drive class will have after inheritance occurs. Drive class will have both the print functions,
Yeah.
one base class and one itself.
Yes.
And when we are accessing through B1, because it contains object of drive class, so drive class function will be called now.
Why derived class
Why?
can also be called?
Because it contains of the
uh,
address of object
it, it,
drive.
Come to this, is k available?
Yes, sir.
Is k available?
No, sir. K is not
So
available in
so
base.
then this also not available to him. Only this is available to him.
Okay. So, so so we are accessing through base class pointers, and base class contents are accessed.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So I'll tell you this. Suppose it has int k, and if you are trying to access, suppose b1 k, it will throw a error
Because of private,
because it is not present to him.
because it is not present in the base class,
Yes.
and we are accessing through base class. Sir, it means that if we are creating a base class pointer and assigning it with base class object or drive class object, it will access only base class contents only.
Yes.
Okay. And sir, for drive accessing drive class contents, sir, assume there is one case like if we are creating drive class object
Hmm.
and this scenario happens, like publicly base class drive class is accessing base class, then which print
What
function is
what
called?
what what?
Sir, I am asking, uh, if we create an object of drive class
Hmm.
and we know drive class contains both the print function of base class and print function of itself.
Hmm.
Then accessing print class through drive class object, which print function will be called?
This.
Sir, why?
I
Sir?
explained it here. I explained it here. Why it is accessing F1 and not this F1?
Sir, because sir, it is not overriding.
Yes, because whenever you have a function of same name, it overrides anything that is here. It makes it hidden.
So, sir, the function which comes later gets hidden.
The function which is of the base class is get hidden. If there
Okay.
is two functions of same name, the
Uh,
one of the base class gets hidden.
base class hidden.
Yes.
Of one of base class hidden. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so let's go to this one. So here you have uh, a class. So here you have uh, a class, class A, uh, uh, like, and it has one variable int a, public variable, and it has a constructor.
Yes.
Then it is doing a protected, like,
Protectively accessing.
protected inheritance,
Okay.
and again they are doing the same stuff. Now in calling the constructor, then you have we are creating an object of b t1 and creating an object of a t2. Now we are trying to print t1a, t2a. So which of these line will generate an error? So the question is, which line will generate an error?
Line 1.
Line 1. So let's look at what is the problem here. So we are t1 is trying to access a, Where is A? A is in public section of class A. Now we know we are doing a protected inheritance. Public members of A becomes protected. So as a result, uh, A will become a protected member of class B. Class B, A protected. So when a object of class B is trying to access A, it will throw a error. So line 1 is correct. What about this T2A? For T2 is a object of A, class A, and variable int variable A is a public member of class A. So it will not throw an error. So this will be correctly compiled. So the correct answer is line 1. Any doubts regarding this?
Hello.
Hmm.
Sir, protected members are also not accessible outside the class like private members.
Yes.
So protected members are accessible indirectly through member functions.
Yes.
Like private member functions,
Yeah.
they have
So the
accessibility.
only difference. So the only difference,
So sir, what's the difference between two?
private and protected, is our like in uh, derived class can access protected but not private. So that is the only main difference.
Sir, but when drive class access base class privately, then private section, then all the things becomes private. Private section also becomes private. So private members of base class are also accessible in drive class privately, in
No,
private section of
no,
drive
no,
class.
no. See, anything private has to be accessed via member functions. Anything private. And that is not the case for protected. Child classes or derived classes can access the protected members directly.
Sir, confusion is there, sir. Sir, when we are accessing privately, then sorry, protectedly, then public becomes protected.
Mm.
Public members of base class comes in protected section of drive class,
Mm-hmm.
and protected section of base class comes in protected section of drive class.
Mm-hmm.
So sir, private section also comes in private section of drive class.
Mm-hmm.
So sir, this is
No,
accessible. Private section is,
that is not accessible.
sir, why private section of base class comes in private section of drive class when base class is drive class is accessing protectedly base class.
It's all depends on this chart. This is the main thing. Can protected overrule private? It cannot, because it is less powerful than private. Private will
Okay.
remain private.
Okay. So sir, protected members are accessible in a drive class
Yes, so
through
that is the main thing. That is the main difference. Derived
through
class
member functions or drive class object.
through member functions of why
Drive, sir,
derived
protect.
derived class. See, outside the class it cannot be accessed, so objects can't
So sir, member
access
functions
it.
can access na protected member.
Member, it is not about member functions and object in case of protected. The main difference is
So, sir,
derived class can access it
sir, drive class can access it. So how can drive class can access it using member functions or
directly.
so sir? How can we use that members? Like base class protected members comes in drive class protected section. So that protected members can accessible how?
This is class A and it has an integer A of protected and a private int B. This is class B, it is publicly inheriting A. Suppose it has a print statement cout A. Now suppose I write a uh, B B. This is the object B object. See, A can be accessed when we are doing this. This is a protected member. This A can be accessed by class B directly. I don't have to use any member functions.
Okay.
But if
Sir, A is accessible inside the print function of
any
a
function
drive class.
anywhere inside
So
this you
sir,
can access it.
I'm asking that only कि member functions can access
It
of
is
drive class.
it is not yeah.
So sir, print function is a member function of B class,
Yes,
which is accessing protected member of a class. Sir,
yes,
that's what I am asking.
yes,
Derived class member functions can access protected members of a base class.
yes.
Okay.
But
But not drive class object can access outside the class.
no, b dot a is not possible.
Okay. So sir, protected members are accessible inside a drive class
Yes,
only through member functions.
member functions, yeah, you can say that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay, so let's go to this question. Inheritance does not always leads to accessibility. Inheritance of private members of base class in the derived class does mean they can be accessed directly from the derived class objects. Inheritance of private members of the base class in the derived class does mean they can be accessed directly by derived class objects. How private members cannot be accessed, right? Private members cannot be accessed. If it is public, it can be accessed.
Sir, can private members be accessible inside the member function of a drive class?
No.
No. Okay, okay.
I said nah, like B cannot be accessed here. If I write print B here, it will throw an error. The cout B will not be allowed.
So, sir, when drive class is accessing publicly or privately or protectedly base class,
Mhm.
in in all the three cases, private remains intact. It
Yes,
will not.
private
It will
cannot be.
not.
You cannot
It
handle
will.
private.
It will not go anywhere. It means it will not
It
go in private sector.
go is a very bad statement to use. You cannot access it. It goes there, it comes there. It you don't use that term. You simply see that
Sir,
you
sir,
cannot access that.
by go means I mean that public we are accessing publicly drive class.
These will
Public
remain.
becomes public comes in public section of a drive class. Protected comes in protected section of a drive
It
class.
can come to the section, but you cannot access it directly.
Okay, it comes but not accessible.
not accessible. So if you have a gate, like if you have a gate B, then you call that gate B to get it.
Okay, okay, sir.
So let's come to this question. So you have uh, class A to class B to class C. This is the inheritance. Class A is being inherited by class B, and it is being inherited by class C. All uh, have a constructor uh, A and a destructor which is printing tilde A. So what will be the and the main has a object C of type C. So the question is what will be the output of this sequence? What will be the output of this sequence? Also, class B has a class C has a object of class B. So you know these constructors are created when whenever a object is created, and a destructor is called whenever the object goes out of scope.
Sir, constructors and destructors are inherited or not?
Yeah, inherited.
Okay.
So we are creating an object of class C. C is a C is actually a C is class C is actually is the derived class of class B, and class B is a derived class of class A. So accordingly, initially, if you this constructor will be called first. So whenever we are creating a object of class C, the base class constructor will be initially called. So initially, this one will get called. So initially A will be called, then B will be called, then then it will start like accessing this. Whenever it try to access this constructor of class C, so at that point time this object B is created, object B is initialized. So in that case again, you see, since B is a derived class of A, so this sequence will again be followed: A and B creation, creation of A and then creation of B. Now after this B initialization is done, then C will be created. So this is the order of creation
Please
slash
explain again.
1 minute, constructor invocation. So life of the program starts in int main. So life of the program starts in int main. So in int main, you see what is being created. Object of C is being created. Now what is C? C is basically a derived class of B, and B is basically a derived class of A. So you know whenever the constructor, so whenever we are creating an object, obviously its constructor is being called. So whenever a derived class constructor is being called, its base class constructor is first called. So in this case, you see what are its derived base from which classes are it being derived? B, and B is in turn being derived by A. So initially class A's constructor will be called, then class B's instructor will be called. Now after after calling the constructor of the base classes, that is in this case A and B, it will create this this it will initiate this B this object B, which is present in class C. Now it will again follow the same route. what is b? B is a object of is a derived class of class A. So base class A will be called, and after that B will be called. So and after this initialization is done, we will this constructor gets called, that is C. So in this way it will be A B A B C. So this will be the initial print. So this is the order of creation slash constructor invocation. Now you see how destruct now a simple when as a destructor called, whenever this object C goes out of out of out of this like main function, out of scope. So a simple rule is constructors are well called in the directly opposite direction of destructors are called in the directly opposite direction of constructor creation. So it will be simple if you just reverse it. So it will be ampersand tilde c tilde b tilde a b a. So this is the order in which destructor will get called. So the correct answer will be output C. So any doubt regarding this? Like the concept is very clear. So this question will get asked like in the exam and all. So the thing is, the tough part is you need to go through the process of how the constructor are being called. Once
Hello,
that has been set up, you can directly reverse that order and the destructor will be called.
sir.
Yes.
One question,
Yes.
sir. Whenever the object of drive class is created,
Hmm.
first the base class constructor is called.
Yes.
Uh, Sir, first the base class constructor is called, then drive class, then another drive class
Yes.
in this hierarchy.
Yes.
So, sir, uh, con- all the contents of class get executed, or only constructor gets executed. Like
What
here,
is the job of
he,
constructor?
like here we create a object of C obj, then constructor of A is called first,
Hmm.
uh, where public members A constructor is
So
executed.
what is the job of constructor main?
So job is constructor is to initialize the
Yes,
object.
yes, that is a initialize the object, and that is the initialize the members of that object.
So sir, in C class, why the creation of B object statement is being executed?
Yeah, because you need to initialize it.
So, so sir, when C object is created, A class constructor is executed. B class constructor is executed after that.
Yes.
So after that, C class constructor should be executed, na?
No, 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 no.
Why B class
So
B
wait,
this
wait, wait,
statement
wait,
B
wait.
B B is executed?
Because uh, natural way of
Sir, because
wait,
constructors are calling.
wait. So basically, how does this constructor calling takes place, right? This is a very uh, basic thing which we have discussed in previous lectures. That is initia,
Whenever object of created.
initialization list. So basically, uh, though in this case it is not given by but default, this is the thing that is occurring. Uh, sorry. before this cout statement is called. That is, it is initializing, it is calling constructor of A, constructor of B. Then it is trying to initialize this B, and when it is trying to initialize this B, it will call again AB.
Sir, why this statement B is executed?
What?
Sir, why this statement in present in C class uh, B is executed?
So that is the way it is being like initialization list works in like that only. So it is not given here, but by default it assumes this is the order. You
Sir,
go,
my question
you
is
go
that
and check.
whenever object of C class is executed, then
Yes.
constructor of A class should be executed, then constructor of B class should be executed,
Yes.
then constructor of C class should be executed.
No.
Why this statement comes in
So
picture?
you have, you know initialization list or not? You say
Yes, sir.
what is initialization list?
Sir, initialization list is accessing data members of a class and initializing
So
it with the.
if you have gone through previous lectures, you have seen how what is the what is the what is the objective of constructor, constructor objective is to initialize its data members. So to
Yes.
initialize the data members, it first calls the all its the derived class constructor. So in this case, sorry, it will not be B, it will be only B, it will be only B and this B. Now when it is calling this B, this B will have this B will have A. Now after initializing the constructor of its derived class, it initializes its own variable. So if it has suppose an thing called int x, it will also initialize int x.
Sir, but in constructor C, we are not initializing its content B.
By default it will happen. We are not, see the why it is
Sir, we are not writing explicitly
yeah,
like B.
we are not writing explicitly anything, but the object has to allocate something for its memory, right? It needs to write that we, okay, this has an x variable, okay, this has an y variable. That is the reason constructor is being called always.
So, sir, I will assume that whenever any class constructor is called, whether its initialization list is present or not, always initialization happens
Always initialization happens.
with a garbage value.
Yes, with
If
a
not
garbage value. Yes.
with initialization list or not present.
Yes, then it's a garbage value.
Okay, so in this case, it is happening same.
Yes. So
Whenever when C class constructor is being called after B class constructor, then C class constructor B class is present is B class object is not being initialized in C class initialization list. So C class constructor implicitly uh, assigns memory to the B class
yes,
object,
yes,
and in that attempt B class constructor is called.
yes.
Okay,
So this is the this is the order in which that's being getting invoked.
sir, whether initialization list is present or not.
Initialization list is present or not, but by default, this is the order in which it is done.
Okay. If not present initialization list, then members are initialized
Yes,
by garbage value. Okay.
yes. Okay, and the destructor. Okay, you can go through the process of how destructor is called, but the simple rule is always the opposite direction. So that,
So sir, first we trace how constructors are calling
yes,
and opposite of that
yes,
destructors.
destructor will be called.
Okay.
So let's go to the next one. So you
Sir,
have a,
where can I where can we access these slides?
I said like in NPTEL website, you go see there are problem solving sessions. There is a tab. In that tab, click on that link. you will get that a list of our Google sheet. In this Google sheet you will find there are lots of okay, let me show you only. So you see this problem solving
Yes,
session
sir.
tab. You go there,
Yes.
so you click here, and there are so it will open this. So here you can see all the lectures will be there, and here you will get the slides.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let's come back to this question. So you have a base class. It has a static member function which prints C++. Now we are inheriting a privately this base class. So you have to fill in the blanks here something such that the output is C++. So this is the constructor. So we are creating a derived class object. So you need to put something here out of this option such that it prints this C++. Now how to do it? Now one of the thing you need to notice is that this is a static member function. So uh, you don't need an exactly need an object to access it, because it is accessed like without object. So one way to do it is write base colon colon func. So this will uh, basically call this function. So and it will print this C++. That is a way to do it, and that is the only way to do it. Is it? So another way to do it is you create a new object, base object, and call func. That is another way to do it. So this is the two way you can call this. So the correct answer is A and B. So let's. Uh, so if you have any doubt regarding this, you can ask. So this is quite straightforward, like how to access the member base class function. So let's come to the next problem. So you have a class A1 and you have a it has a data member T1. You have another class A2 and you are privately inheriting A1 and you have a data member T2 and you have a member function which returns sum of T1 and T2. So the question is which of these line in the main function will generate compilation error. So you have basically what you are doing in main function, you are creating object of class A1 and the object of class A2. Now B is trying to initialize value, is trying to access T1 and initialize a value to it 10. So this is a public member function. Object is trying to access the public member function. So this will not generate any error. This is a correct statement. Now object D is trying to access T1. Is this correct? No, because we are doing a private inheritance. So this T1 will become private member of A2. So we cannot access T1 directly by a class or by a object of A2. So this will throw an error. Right. Now the next one, D dot T2 is equal to 30. This one will not throw any error. This will be correct because T1 and because T2 is public. And last one is line 4, D dot sum. Sum is also a public member functions, so it will not throw an error. So this will be correct. So the only line that will throw an error is line 2 because T1 is private since private of A2 since A2 is privately inheriting A1. So not accessible. So line 2 will basically that's the reason will throw an error. Any doubt regarding this?
Sir, why line 4 is doesn't throw an error?
Yeah, good question. So you see, this is a public member of A1. This is a public member of A1, but you are inheriting privately. This thing doesn't uh, matter in this case because it is a public member. So it will become private when it comes to A2. But the inheritance, but since it is public member of A1, we can directly access it. It will not throw an error in that case. T1 is public to A2. For A2, it is public, right? So that is the reason it will not throw an error. But for D, T1 is a private because it is being privately inherited. So it will it will throw an error. So one thumb rule we can say that that inheritance inheritance type determines what derived class object can access, right? Because t1 will not be able to access by object of derived class, but the class itself can access it because it is public in a1. So this inheritance types only defines that what can be accessed by the object of base derived class. But you see, this T1 can actually be accessed by A2, so that will not throw an error. So this is one like thumb rule you can just keep in mind for future. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so here you have same. So you have a class B intx data member, and it has a member constructor which is taking a value x, and it is initializing this x, and it has a function fun. Now we have a class D which is publicly inheriting B. It has a private member y. Now it is trying to it is taking in two variables x and y. Now we have to put something here such that like in this place like that initialization list such that the program prints 10. So naturally we will initialize here uh, constructor of B and uh, data member y. So these are the two things that will be that will be um, initialized here. So we are see, if you see, notice the CWAR statement, b fun b fun is being called, that is this fun b function, this fun function is being called. So you have to give 0, so y will have to be initialized to 0 because it is the second one that will be printed, and b fun, that is this should be 1. So that means uh, x should be equals to 1. So here we have to give uh, b like b will be x and y will be underscore y. So which is this one? This one is option A and option B. So A and C are the correct answer. because that is the how only how we can initialize it, and that will print 10. So any doubt regarding this? So okay, so let's go for the next question. So you have a class here. The class name is my class 1. You have a data member x. You have another now we have the constructor here, and we have a function that basically prints. Then we have another class my class 2. It is privately in publicly inheriting my class 1. It has an object, it has a data member y. Now it is initializing a and b. Now it has a fun function. So we are initializing m here, m12. So the question is, fill in the blanks in line 1 such that the program will print 1. So when we are sending m12 here, so basically a is 1 and b is 2. So that means we are initializing my class constructor with 1 and y with 2. So that means here a will be 1, so x will be, value of x will be stored as 1 and value of y will be stored as 2. Now we have to write something here such that it prints 1. So what will happen if we do m dot fun? If we call this, what will happen? What will be printed? So if we write m dot fun, what will be printed? 1 will be printed. So when we write m dot fun, m is an object of class m2 and it has a fun function. So in that case, 2 will get printed because it will use this one. This will become hidden because they have same name. Both are fun. My class 1 fun is hidden in my class 2. So when we do this, it will print 2. So we need to print. So we need to print 1. So to print 1, basically we need to call this m function. So the only way to do it is m dot, we have to tell that we need to call this function. So we need to use this scope resolution operator, class 1 colon colon fun. So when you do this, so basically we are saying that give me my class 1's fun. So this will be the correct answer. Here it will print 1. So here it means that like m, we are telling m that use your uh, base class font. That is the thing we are telling here in this part of the code. Yeah, option C will not work. Option C's problem is, see, my class one dot fun. That sound did not occur. You need to use the scope resolution operator, because that is the only how you can do it. C is not correct. That's the reason. Scope resolution is operator resolve this kind of scoping issues, like which farm to use, which classes function to use. That is the primary goal of that scope resolution operator. Okay, so now we will actually have a like fun like it's this is a concept which we call object design part. So if you have your any undergraduate course or something, these kind of questions will come. So where the objective of you will be to design a system. So what do you mean by design a system? You have to design a full-fledged system using C++, where you need to show uh, like how like a database kind of thing can be implemented using this inheritance concept. So that is a crux of how inheritance works. You need to show that kind of question will be asked. So let's look at what I mean by that. So here you see you have, so this is the, suppose this is a school system. Let's say it's a college will be a good option. You have a college, you have in a college everyone is a staff, right? Your, be it your teachers, admins, uh, clerk, like everyone is basically a staff. So so basically you will have a uh, so you will have this kind of like subset or superset, you can say. So everyone is a staff. So basically in the uh, flow of chart, everyone is a staff, so everyone will have a code and a name. So these are primary. So you can have more variables like age, date of birth, uh, date of joining. These are the things you can have. Pay scale. These are the things it can have. Uh, next, uh, next is we go for. So this is called generalization. Next, you see a teacher who is also a part of can is also a staff. A teacher for college is also a staff. So if this is the base class, we'll do a inheritance, and that will come to this uh, teacher class. So our teacher class will not only will have a subject and a subset, let's say publication, like what kind of publications he or she does. So uh, these two can be his or her own parameters, but you see, due to this inheritance, it will also have the members code and name. So this is one example like how inheritance basically occurs. Next, uh, um, this is another inheritance. So what happens in your college will have some officers in the sense uh, director, dean, those kind of things. So officer will have a grade. So these kind of grades like dean, director, those kind of things. So again, he or she will be a staff basically. So they will have a code and they will have a name. So while this is a generalization, this and this refer to something we call specialization. So while this generalizes the inheritance concept, this is basically a specialization of that part. So that is how this popular term ISA relationship is defined. Next, you have a staff can be a typist. A typist will have speed, like how much he or she can type. Now we can further inherit. This can be inherited into a regular or into a casual kind of typist. So a casual typist will have whether it is he or she is working daily or some days, so that kind of thing it can have, and a regular will have wages. A casual will have his daily wages. A regular will, let's say, will have some more thing that like timing kind of things. So this is another inheritance. So this is further specialization, right? This is again a kind of specialization on typist, so, which in turn is a specialization of staff. So this thing of generalization or specialization depends on which uh, point of inheritance you are standing. So if you are standing in at a point like typist, you are both a specialization of class staff as well as a class generalization of class regular and casual. So this is a big like a small way of how inheritance occurs in a real life. Now your task may be to code this. Someone says you write a code regarding this. So one such will be, suppose uh, for just creating a database. Suppose let's say create a database for this model. So you will use C++ concept of inheritance to uh, code this system. Now there will be So obviously, so each one of them will have each one of them will have its own get and set function. So there will be a get set function for this, get set function for this, get set function for this. So these things will be there. Now you will also want to have some special functions. Special functions for each of them, right? So this could be like one thing that may be there. So a special function, I will say that, let's say, suppose suppose you want to calculate the uh, CTC of each staff. So these kind of design challenges you will face. So where to put it so that uh, the CTC gets calculated for each employee in a similar way. So one of them will be, so to put it here. So if we, so put it in class staff, because in that case it will be available for all of the like like staff or the employees of the college database. Now further challenges may arrive. Let's say special function to calculate uh, pay scale based on hours worked. So suppose you have to uh, calculate a CTC based on hours worked. So what you will do in that case? So if you see, let's say here I want to, so here, while here I am calculating all the like CTC based on some random pay scale type, but here I want to calculate the CTC differently. So obviously I will use the concept of overriding that has been taught to me in inheritance chapter. So using overriding, function overriding, we will be able to introduce a new CTC calculate function here, so such that it calculates the CTC here differently. So that is another design challenge, you can say, that will come up to you. So this kind of way you need to do the system design for this when you are given this kind of problem. These are quite practical problems that you will obviously face. Okay, so uh, other challenges can be how much data you want the outside object can access. So if you see uh, this name thing, okay, I may allow, suppose officer is of higher rank, I may not ask like allow that these things can be accessed by, suppose it can be accessed by a, like public a person like an officer, but it should not be get accessed by someone like a casual typist. So in that case your concept of like access specifier arrives. Why and how? Because then you can use something called public private and protected to make sure everyone is not accessing it. So that is one way you can like you can do it. So this is how like system building occurs, like how to build a system like this. So these kind of design concepts you need to remember. Okay, so if you have any doubts you can ask regarding this. I mean, this is a very practical problem. Okay, you will be solving mostly this like if you are finding that these assignments like in assignments you are asked output and error, that is okay to help you have a deep knowledge of the subject. But for application purposes, type of problems will face, like how to manage this kind of how to write a code such that this kind of system can be like used in real life. So this is something you need to consider always, how to make this. So I will request you to try to write a code for this without like using internet. This will help you build your analytical skills for and practical skills. So how to write a code in C++ such that this all can be managed. So if you have any doubt regarding this you can ask, or anything regarding inheritance you can ask.
Sir, can you suggest any textbooks or the books which will help us to learn these concepts and also helpful for the examination?
So, like when I was in my undergrad, so I used to follow this book like Indian. So there are very good books for foreign authors and Indian authors. So you if you see that the publisher who invented C, that uh, so there is this problem called problem solving in C++ by I forgot his own name, but that is a good book. And if you have like I know many of you are not that like uh, superior in this C++ language, so you can use the book by Balaguru Swami or C++. So that is a very good book for understanding object-oriented programming. So author name is Balaguru Swami. C++ programming, object-oriented programming in C++. using like name is E Balaguru Swami. So this is the author's name. So you can check out his books. That is a very good book. So there you can find this kind of examples of how to build this kind of like big systems. Okay, so this was the end. So thank you. We'll again meet next week, same time.